Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, I am so happy to have you here. I hope you like, I hope you share, I hope you subscribe. We do amazing things on this channel, and if you are coming back, then as usual I am super excited to have you back. The only reason that we're here is because you're here, and yeah, we don't take you for granted. So please don't forget to share this to your friends and your loved ones, and I'll see you in the video. So today I'm going to be talking about forgiveness, but not just forgiveness, as if that's not hard enough. We're going to be talking about forgiving people that have not even asked for your forgiveness. You know, the ones that hurt you and have done you dirty, but do not even think you've done anything wrong, and so they're not going to ask you to forgive them. Or they know what they've done and they stand by it, so they're not sorry. Yes, we're going to be talking about forgiving people that have not asked for your forgiveness, and most likely will never ask for your forgiveness. Let's get into it. You know how they say that heartbreak can literally lead to a heart attack, and like people die from heartbreak? It's the same with unforgiveness. It literally has disadvantages for you, not just the mental and emotional ones, but literally your body. And I was reading a study when I was preparing for this video, and it was done by John Hopkins Hospital. Let me see exactly what they said, right? It says studies have found that the act of forgiveness can reap huge rewards for your health, lowering the risk of heart attack, improving your cholesterol levels and sleep, and reducing pain, blood pressure, the levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. And research points to an increase in the forgiveness health connections as you age, right? So we can go about this video from two parts. The part where you should, you know, release unforgiveness, release resentment, and just embrace peace, and maybe even start to love the people that hurt you again and feel affection for them again, which is all fair and good. Like, I'm not knocking that perspective, but that is just not even the angle I'm coming from. I'm coming from the perspective of just doing it for your own self. Maybe along the line you might decide to make peace with the person and rekindle the friendship or relationship or whatever, but that's not even the perspective I'm coming from. I'm literally coming from the perspective of choose your own self and do what is best for you. Because again, you cannot come here and be dying over someone that has not even said sorry and cannot even bother saying sorry. I mean, if the person has asked for forgiveness, it's a different conversation where it's like, oh yes, they're sorry, like just try to come to a place, find it in your heart to forgive them. I'm saying this person does not even care, and they are not even going to care anytime soon, so they are not going to ask for this forgiveness. So yeah, why should we forgive them? I've already told you all the benefits it has for your well-being, right? Think of the ways that holding on to the anger and the resentment and the hurt is actually impacting your day-to-day life and how it is affecting you negatively. It's not worth it. It literally is not worth it. One of my favorite quotes of all time is a quote I heard several years ago, and it is basically that unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die. And it made so much sense to me, right? Because all the time, right, when you are holding a grudge or you have someone in your mind that you've not let go of, you've not forgiven this person, they are just living their life. Have you noticed? They are happy. There's nothing wrong with them. They're chilling like the villains that they are, and they're doing perfectly fine. They haven't asked for forgiveness. They don't lose a wink of sleep. Everything is going well for them. But then you, on the other hand, are so hurt by the thing that they've done, and you're still crying, you're in pain, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you know. Sometimes it hinders your walk with God, even, harboring unforgiveness in your heart. You can't pray, you can't think right, you're just unhappy. Literally, the light in your eyes has left because you are just holding on to this resentment. And yes, this person has done you really dirty, and yes, they are terrible. But your unforgiveness is not doing anything to them. It's like you are literally drinking the poison and expecting them to die, when really they are doing perfectly fine. So this video is us coming together to say, you know what? We are going to find a way to learn to forgive these people, even though they have not asked for our forgiveness. Why? Not for them, but for us. Because we cannot continue drinking poison and expecting our enemies to die. We're tired of being resentful, we're tired of being in pain, we're tired of holding things to our chest, and we're just going to learn to let them go. At the end of the day, right, I think that forgiveness is a choice. It's a choice that we have to make. It's an active choice. It's not words, it's not passive, it's not, oh, I forgive you. It's something that you have to actively do. It's a choice that you have to make. Because the pain that they've caused you is real. And saying the words, I forgive you, is not going to miraculously wipe the slate and make everything okay. So it's a choice that you have to make actively. And you have to follow steps to get there, to get to a point where you're like, you know what, it's fine. Like, well, what they did is not fine, but it's okay. Like, I'm going to move on. I'm ready to move on. And I think forgiveness being an active part of our lives and an active part of our day-to-day will really help us go a long way. Because then you are waking up every day and making the choice to let go of resentment and to let go of harboring pain and anger in you. And it will lead to you having a better quality of life, right? So there are a few steps here that I think are helpful for you to practice on your journey of forgiveness. And the first one I have here is that you should reflect and remember. So reflect on everything and remember everything. The good times, the bad times, the events itself that led, or themselves that led to, whatever hurt they caused you, and why we're even here having the conversation on forgiveness. Reflect on how you reacted. Reflect on how you felt. What did you feel in the moment? Was it anger? Was it pain? Was it betrayal? Was it embarrassment? And also reflect on how the act has affected you since that date. I know a lot of times when people are talking about forgiveness and they bring up reflecting and remembering, they're telling you to remember the good times. Remember all the good that this person has done, and maybe that will make it easier for you to forgive them. And that works sometimes when it's an isolated event, especially when someone that has been so good to you has done something that has suddenly hurt you, or someone that you have such good history with has done something that now hurts you. So reflecting and remembering on all the good times that you shared and all the good things that they've done might be helpful in being able to forgive them for the bad thing that they have done. But I think that sometimes you need to reflect on everything so that you have an honest estimation of the situation, because more than one thing can be true at the same time. It is true that this person has been good to you and has, been a very good part of your life, but it is also true that they've done terrible things that have hurt you, and they've done a terrible thing that has brought you to where you're at. So to avoid romanticizing a person that has hurt you very badly based off past glory, I think you should reflect on everything, the good things, all the good things, all the bad things, and how they've all made you feel and how you're feeling after the fact, and just have that in your mind, right? I think it's also important to, even in the pain, find a place for empathy and to empathize with the other person. And that is something I like to do, which is, I see you and I know why you did what you did. So I can hold space for your own pain that has led you to cause me pain, while not diminishing the pain that you have in fact caused me. So yes, I empathize with you. I understand the scenarios or the things in your own life that led you to the place where you were able to treat me this way. But I can also say that you treated me this way and it was bad. And I don't deserve that, and I won't stand for it. So for example, let's say you have a friend that grew up in an alcoholic family where anger. What's the order of the day when people are drunk and unstable, for example? And so anger is, violent, shouting, raised voices is something that is almost natural to them or to the environment that they grew up in. And so obviously they are showing up in the relationship with you in this way, with this negativity. It is okay to empathize with them and say, you know what, I see you, I understand why this is your response to things. However, this is not something that I am tolerating, and so I can still stand on my boundaries while also seeing where you're coming from. So yeah, I think you should be able to still practice empathy with this person. And then I think you should learn to forgive deeply. Because simply forgiving someone because you think that you have no other alternative, or maybe because your religion says you should forgive, may not be enough to bring the healing that you desire and the healing that you require to actually move past the pain and the resentment, right? I think there are people that forgive out of obligation. They forgive because their religion says they have to, or they forgive because they think that's the only option they have. And then there's people that forgive because they understand that we're all human and none of us are infallible, and we will all make mistakes and we all deserve a little bit of grace. I think that one of them is sustainable and the other is not. I think forgiving out of obligation, or forgiving because that's the only thing that you need to do, or it's the only thing you can do, will not rid you of the resentment that you're feeling, is almost like robotic service. Like you're just doing it because it's the thing that you need to check off the list of things that you've done. But understanding that, everybody makes mistakes and I make mistakes too. And again, having empathy for the person will allow you to forgive in such a way that brings about healing. And I think in instances where, again, the person hasn't even asked for forgiveness, it is especially hard to do that because they're not even sorry. So the pain is still very fresh, and every time you think about it, it's still so painful because you don't even feel validated in your hurt because they haven't said, you know what, yes, what I did was bad and I see that what I did was bad and I'm sorry for it. But at the same time, you also know how bad you're having it and how terrible it is for you because you're holding on to this pain. So being able to empathize with someone like that and come from a place of saying, you know what, everybody can make mistakes, so I'll choose to forgive you, is especially difficult, but I still think it's doable and is important to do. Another thing is to let go of expectations, and this for me is a very big one, and I think it comes to play a lot in these instances where the person that you're trying to forgive has not even asked you for forgiveness. Just let go of expectations. An apology may not change the relationship, and the lack of an apology most likely has changed the relationship, right? If you don't expect anything from them, I think it's easier for you because then you're less likely to be disappointed because there are no expectations to be met to begin with. So just leave things where they are. Don't expect changed behavior. Don't expect them to reach out. Don't hold on to the expectation that one day in the future they will realize their mistake and they will come back. Don't hold on to the expectation that they will get theirs, because they might not. Don't hold on to the expectation that one day in the future they will get theirs and they will get what they're coming to them, and karma will get them, or God will punish them, and like their lives will become bad. It might not happen. Every day bad people are winning. Bad people are living amazing lives, People, you say, oh, he broke my heart, he'll marry a very trash babe. It's a lie. He will have a happy marriage. Nothing will happen. So don't just let go of all these expectations, because you will just be disappointed if it doesn't happen. So forgive so that you can find your healing and just leave it. No expectations. Again, I think another step is what I've been saying to begin with, which is to decide to forgive, because sometimes it's a decision that you might have to make over and over and over and over again, because you might think that you've forgiven and you've let go of the hurt, then 2 months down the line you find out some new information, or something will happen that will trigger the pain again, and in that moment you need to decide again to forgive. It's a decision that has to become a part of you, where you decide that at every point, you know what, it's okay, I've let it go, I've decided to let it go, I'm letting it go. Just keep deciding to forgive. Make that decision, make the choice, seal it with action, and just let it go. Let it go. Do the things that you need to do to make sure that you are letting it go. You know, if it means that this is someone that you have to cut out of your life, then do that. There's no need to keep them in your life and within proximity if their presence will only continue to trigger you and make it difficult for you to heal and to move on. And I think the last one is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself looks different times. You know, sometimes it might be that you also did really bad things and you need to forgive yourself for doing those things, because maybe you never saw yourself as being capable of doing some of the things that you did. Sometimes it's forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to be treated in that way to begin with, for tolerating certain things and not being firm on your boundaries. Whatever it looks like, whatever it might be that you are also holding on to grief for or resentment for to your own self, because you know things happen. Whatever it is, whatever it looks like, just forgive yourself and let go of the pain, as difficult as it is. So yeah, I think these tips will help you forgive anybody at all, but I think it's even more so for the people that have not asked for forgiveness, because many times it is so much easier to forgive a person when they've acknowledged their pain, the pain that their actions have caused you, or their words have caused you. But when the person doesn't even acknowledge it, it's hard. And as hard as it is to forgive, I think that's how much more damage it does to you, because every time you think of it, you're just going to be in so much pain, and it's not worth it. So I'm just going to end this video here today. I don't know if this is for you, you know, if there's someone that you are finding it hard to forgive, or a scenario that you're finding it hard to move on from. I hope that these steps help you to come to a place where you're able to let go of the pain and just be like, you know what, I will not continue to rot in this situation. I've had enough and I'm moving on. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.